Hey everybody, it's Nell. I just wanted to come through real quick to do a little video talking about tonight's Pisces moon. I know I probably could have done this in a live. I don't know, maybe next time I will. That actually just came to my head just now. But I just took a couple notes on some stuff that I have been sort of, some research I have been synthesizing on what the energies are of this new moon. Like I can already sort of intuitively feel, the Pisces energy. Let's just start there. Basically, at 26 degrees Pisces, there will be a joining of the sun. Sorry, y'all. Why does this happen when I start filming? A joining of the sun and the moon in the sky, right? So Pisces energy represents, I always say, the fantasy element, the whimsical element, the fantastical element of things, the space that you go into, the incubation space that you go into to create something new, right? All of the possibilities that lie around something. A lot of times people say Pisces is where things go to dissolve. Pisces is where things go to disassemble, like just to sort of fall back into oneness. And I feel like whenever we sort of have a lot going on in that space in the sky, things can get muddy. The energy in the real world, dang, the camera shocked. Anyway, but the energy in the real world gets a little bit fluid and kind of loopy, like, oh, what is going on? Sometimes I even like to say that Pisces energy can be a drunk energy, and I mean happy St. Patrick's Day or whatever, but I'm telling all my friends, like, make sure y'all are safe. If y'all are doing something for the holiday, cool, but just have a DD or get that Uber money ready and just be prepared. Go where you know what the crowd is like don't be doing no crazy stuff, because the energy is just sort of wide open for whatever possibility a person wants out of it. So I feel like if you come in line with somebody who's maybe a little bit more aggressive, because there's also a lot going on in the place of Aries right now. I feel like, okay, so there's Mercury, Venus, and Uranus in Aries as we speak. So none of these are sort of like threatening planets that are in those spaces, but there's just a lot of energy going on in this very fiery part of the chart for it to be such a loopy energy at the same time. So it's kind of like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, like some crazy shit happening and people being like, well, what the hell was that? Like, how did we even get from point A to point B? How did we even get here? Mercury being in Aries just talks about people, your mouth being a little bit slick at the time. You feeling like, you want to be quick-witted. We're all going to start feeling quick-witted mentally. Like a lot of ideas might be coming in, communication, we might try to rush it, but it's kind of like pump your brakes because we're in Mercury's shadow of going retrograde. So at the same time, you're going to feel like, I said quick moving communication, dynamic communication. So being very dramatic, making a big deal, wanting to be heard, wanting to be seen, wanting to be first, wanting to have arguments where you just feel you got to get the word out, you got to get the last word or whatever. Instinctual responses. Yeah, because Aries is very quick-witted and quick to the hip, like, and it's a cutting energy. Aries itself is the threat. It is the sharp energy, the pang of something. So when you have Mercury here, that's just how we're communicating with each other. We're wanting it to be direct. We're wanting it to be cutting, to make an impact, to be dynamic. And then there's Venus sitting right next to it. They're actually 2 degrees apart, so they're conjunct. They're right next to each other. Venus is the appreciation, of the collective, of the time, right? So right now, the appreciation is being put on highlighting Aries. So yes, we want this spark of communication. We want things to feel dynamic and interesting and not boring and like quick moving and just dramatic. Like we want the surprise, right? Aries is like the surprise. It says, for Venus being in Aries, I put appreciation for the spark or for the chase. It could be a childish energy too. People might be getting into childish spats at this time, just not really thinking too hard about what it is that they're saying, wanting a reaction out of people, doing things without thinking about them or saying things without thinking about them first. And then that's when we get into the moon. The moon is actually, let me see. Yeah, the moon is going to be not too far from them. Actually, it's in Pisces, but anyway, The moon represents our reactions, our emotional responses to things, right? The knee-jerk reactions. Pisces tends to be a very emotional, compassionate, empathetic sign. And so that's why we feel so like things are not really real, because we feel like the barriers between us and other people are dissolving. You can feel the connection between you and other people, and sometimes their emotions feel like your emotions feel like their emotions, and you can't sift through to see where you begin and that other person ends. So with the moon being in Pisces, it's always, for me, I get sleepy. It's always a very dreamy element to things. Things get very fluid and mystical, and like, I'm just living. I don't be knowing what day of the week it is when stuff goes in Pisces. Like, I'm always tired. The dreams get very, very active at that time, because the dreamland is ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces is also kind of ruled by Jupiter, but Pisces rules over that dream, like, illusionary state, right? Even being in a delusional state, Pisces can represent that too. So the dreams I put, because Neptune is in Pisces as well. It's a little far away, but it's there. And it says, what did I say? Things are deeper than deep. You need to call in clarity at this time. Dreaming of scenarios. Like, I have an overactive mind, so I always dream out how things go. Like, if I know I have an interview, I'll dream the different ways that situations might go, so I can think up different answers to questions. I don't know, I'm weird. But right now, things are on 100 with that. Like, going through your mind with the scenarios in different ways. Creativity is heightened, so even thinking of ways to really maneuver real life situations will be heightened, as far as just getting ideas for it, dreaming about it, meditating on it. Meditation would be a really good thing to do now as a grounding practice, because with the Pisces energy, things can just get lost. You know, you need to find a sense of grounding. The sun is also there too, where this whole new moon thing is happening. It's in Pisces, so there's going to be a heightened sense of identifying with unconscious emotions, because it's up there with the moon. So that's why the new moons are so good for calling in what it is that you want, because it's about identifying with your emotions and the sense of self. The sun for all of us right now is in Pisces, right? So we're all in touch with that Pisces energy, regardless of where your planets are. And then with the moon being there, it's like, you know, the feelings and emotions surrounding how you see this energy. So, okay, I have this book that I want to talk to you guys about, because it helps to set new moon intentions. And I feel like regardless of where your moon is, right? Because you have a moon in your personal chart, you can receive a personal reading with me. Go to nellnicole.com, click on the Shop High Vibe page, and all my readings are listed. You can even ask for stuff that isn't listed if you go down to the bottom and leave me a little message. But regardless of where your moon is, right? Wherever the moon goes, it affects everyone, because we all have, like, let me show you this. This is probably bad. My workspace is horrible right now. You can kind of see. So these are all the signs. Each little pie piece, it kind of represents the 30 degrees of each sign in the sky. And so regardless of where your moon is, wherever the moon moves to, we can feel those energies as a collective. And it's said that if you're going to set new intentions for the moon phases, wherever the moon is traveling, you need to focus on where the moon is and your individual connection to that. So, like, say for instance, you wanted a new moon in Pisces reading. I would pull up your astrology to see where all the planets were at your time of birth. And then I look in the sky, because I can pull up another chart that circles around yours that tells me where everything is right now. So I can see, for a person who has first house in Pisces, this new moon is going to affect their first house, and how that might, you know, help them, and where they should focus their intention on ideas that the first house represents, which is the self, the self-esteem of a person, how they see themselves, the personality, the outward show of their personality, you know, like how they look, their physicality. All those first house things should be highlighted in their list of intentions. So let's take a step back, because I know I just probably said a lot. I'm gonna get you guys in a space to where you can kind of create your own intentions, and I'm so excited to do this. I've been missing out on moon after moon, child. Everything in my life was just needed to be dealt with, and now I finally have the time. So we're gonna go through. I'm gonna show you guys this book. It's called New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller. And okay, so we'll go straight to Pisces. It has a section for each sign, for when the new moon is in each sign. So this time we're going to have a new moon in Pisces. And she lists the things that, we're going to talk about that Pisces represents: imagination, inner happiness, psychic sensitivity, trust, mystic awareness, spiritual healing, compassion, and releasing helplessness. So within that, she's such a gem. She goes through and takes certain keywords for each of these ideas, and she gives you a prompt to start your own intention, like sentence writing. So for instance, I pulled some out. There's one that says, what is this? So this one, the first one says confusion, sleep, fantasy, imagination, chaos, right? All these are very Piscean things. One of the intentions was, I want to easily find myself dealing with themes of confusion in a constructive way that leads to growth. So it's just dope because, like, words are spells, right? Words are incantations. It's what you put out, you get back. So when you're asking for things, especially in intention writing, you want to be really hella specific about what it is that you're asking for, because you don't want to just say anything outside of your neck and then that's what you get back and then you're not happy with what you got. You want to be intentional so that you can put all of your life force, your energy on this thing and let it go. And then, from there you can expect it to come back to you. But if you're not clear about what you want, you can muddle up the energy for yourself. And that's why people are like out here tripping, talking about, law of attraction doesn't work. No, you don't understand it. There's more than just the law of attraction too. So you got to understand all the laws. Anyway, that's another video. So for this, right, there's another one. It says, I want all feelings of helplessness to be lifted from me. Because Pisces can be the victim energy. It's the archetypal, is that how you say it? Victim energy. Pisces is directly opposite from Virgo. Virgo is the virgin, the servicer, the maiden, the martyr, the one who puts themselves on the line for the greater good. And it's the one that does the saving. It's the one that comes around, makes things practical, puts everything into its place so that it can be efficiently run and things all are in its place and where they're supposed to be, and we're happy, right? Pisces is the one that needs saving. It's the damsel in distress. It's the one that's confusion. Everything is falling apart. Oh my God. And it can teach Virgo how to loosen up and realize that everything doesn't have to be compartmentalized. But with the new moon being there, I sort of just feel moon energy is introspective. It's very like internal and womanly and like feminine. And so not to say that the feminine is always supposed to be the subordinate or, the damsel in distress, but that's just the energy that it's giving me. Feelings and emotions tied with the Pisces, I feel like unless that Pisces just like on a high on one, that energy can be very draining. It can pull you down, and it can make a person feel helpless. It can make a person feel victimized. And especially with Neptune being in the same part of the sky, it's kind of like you can make stories up about your reality, about how you perceive things to be. Pisces are the master liars and master storytellers, and you see how that can go both ways. Like, it's a beautiful energy, but you want to use it to help inspire you and make you feel like in that space of creation. And we're going to get into that in a second. But you don't want you want to lift or push away those feelings of being helpless. So that's why it says you want to call in the feelings of helplessness being lifted from you. So it's the way that you put things. Another one says, I want the habit of procrastination to be easily lifted from me. You see how that's also a call to action to have a negative thing taken away. Usually during full moons, you talk more about releasing things, what it is that you don't want. You can write those things out and burn the list if you want. With the new moon, I always keep my new moon intentions because I feel like I want to be able to go back and look and see how those things have seeped into my reality, because really you don't see the effects of new moon stuff until about 6 months later. this all is just one big clock, right? So right now we're going through a Pisces new moon. Later in the month is going to be the Virgo full moon. 6 months from now, so what's this month? March, April, May, June, July, August, September-ish, you'll see Pisces full moon, Virgo new moon. And so at that point, it's sort of like the world circling back around to do that 180 to face the other side of what it is that we already talked about, right? So it's like the same issues coming up, but then you're on this other side of the balancing scale, because everything is about balance. And then you set your intentions, then you do all your stuff, and then you see everything come full circle the next 6 months when it comes back to the Pisces full moon, Virgo, Pisces new moon, Virgo full moon. You feel what I'm saying? So it's better to be proactive, to start getting into that type of thing now if that's something that you're interested in. This book is a great help to me because I always do my research and my due diligence, but this is a great cheat sheet, and it has a lot more information in here concerning like just astrology of people, north nodes, what they mean, south nodes, what they mean. Let me see. There's all types of stuff. This is a great tool to have. So I was talking about the north nodes, right, just now. As of right now, the north node is in Leo. North node talks about where it is that we need to put our energy in order to forward ourselves to the next step in progression, right, in evolution. And that's individually and as a collective. So Leo being the sign of the child, being the sign of the creative one, the self, how one sees themselves, and then the sun being involved in the new moon. Suns are always involved, but there's this light being shown on individuality, what it is that we value, what it is that we really hold within our own imaginations, right? With everything being put back to Pisces. So I feel like, let me see, it says in Leo, the place of the self or the child. Yeah, we're definitely being called to focus in on what it is that we want to make real out of our reality. I feel like all these planets being put up by Pisces and Aries, this is sort of like the birthing phase of the chart. It's where things come from nothing into being, right? Pisces is the incubator, Aries is the initiator, Aries is the start, Aries is the first one. So it feels like a process of creation. We're really being asked to take our intuitive sensibility and our fantasy minds and the things that we hold in our imagination and releasing the idea that this stuff can't amount to anything and just letting it go, letting it out, putting it out there. I feel like story writers, musicians, people who have to create, content creators. This is like a muddy time, like a very, very, it's a very, what is it called? Fruitful time. It's a good time to plant your seeds. It's like the spring, it's like springtime when you start planting seeds to see them harvested. Like this is where the ground is the most nutritious. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I hope y'all feel me. But yeah, this is the time to really start planting those seeds, to really start bringing stuff out. I said the area of creation being between Pisces and Aries makes this a very creative time, a highly creative time. The High Priestess energy is highlighted now because that I kind of associate that with the Pisces, Aries, excuse me, pairing up. Because the High Priestess talks about releasing the veil and understanding how the two worlds correlate, what the things that we don't see from the things that we do see. And what was I gonna say? I had it written down. Yeah, we got Mars in 0 degrees Capricorn, Saturn is still in Capricorn, and Pluto is in Capricorn. So they're making aspects to all of those planets in Aries and Pisces. And I feel like right now we're just really being asked to put our feet with our imagination. Let our imaginations run wild. Like really, if you have an idea for a screenplay, talk to somebody who can get that together for you. If you have an idea for a TV show, an idea for a book, if you have an idea for a new business, if you have an idea for a new way to take care of a situation in your life that has to do with security and your standing in life, your status quo, how, your legacy. I just feel like right now is really a time to do what you said you wanted to do. And that keeps coming up even in my tarot reading. Sorry. Even in my tarot readings, I'm like, yes, like all that stuff that you've been thinking, that you've been harboring, don't let that stuff go to waste. Like, release helplessness. Get yourself to a space to where you can push your ideas into the light. Push them into the light. The imagination is something to focus on. Inner happiness, spiritual healing, compassion towards yourself. Really, I don't know if I said this to you guys yet, but I've been saying it in my readings. I tweeted one day just on some other stuff like, you know, be as gentle with yourself as you need to be, but don't expect the world to do it for you. Don't expect the world to have that same sentiment. And I feel like that's something that you really are responsible for your own happiness. You know what I mean? So whatever ideas you have, be gentle with yourself enough to realize that everything starts with an idea. You just have to believe it. So get your shit together, get into a space where you can start believing it. You can start putting your money where your mouth is and everything like that. That's going to be supported with Saturn being in Capricorn. Follow the rules. Quit trying to use the loopholes with everything. Do things the right way and get your shit together and get it out there and let people see and be able to be in awe of what it is that you have to bring into, you know, reality. If you're playing a victim at this time, it's going to be horrible for you. I'm just going to let you know this now. And the Pisces New Moon is at 26 degrees Pisces. So it's not an immature sign. This is like some stuff that you really been sitting on. If there's some sort of spiritual teaching, some sort of psychic knowing, something going on with that, and you really feel like you need to move forward with it, please do what you need to do logistically and legally and all of that stuff to get your shit together, to be able to put yourself out there. Because that's a very mature degrees of Pisces. It's like a, you know, as you get higher in degrees and you only go up to 30, the energy is more seasoned. And so Pisces being the last of the zodiac anyway, it's like the grandfather energy. And at 26 degrees, it's a very in the know grandfather. It's the grandfather that's wise and has something that's worth knowing. He understands. He's almost at the point of ending the whole entire cycle and starting over again. So it's just, yeah, it's time to really elevate. It's time to get into a place of confidence. And I feel like that's where that Leo North Node comes in. Definitely feel the feelings of believing in what it is that you're going for. Aries or Mars being in a Capricorn, that right there is talking about really walking the walk. Actually not being afraid to take all the steps to get to where it is that you need to be. Even pulling it out into a place of where, you know, just being more confident in the workplace. Because the Mars energy is the Aries energy, is cutting. And it kind of can represent Pluto. You know, Aries can represent, well, no, not really. But Mars and Pluto tend to be real close in energy essence. So I would say with them being both in Capricorn, this is about monopolizing. This is about gaining some sort of power through this intellectual property that's coming through with this Pisces and this Aries, because that's the instinctual like starter. Like that's putting the revving up the engine to go. It's like starting a business, starting a company, being a business, being a company. Man, this energy is dope. This energy is really, really dope. I want to easily find myself fully receptive to the support and influence of the angels. That's another good one if you're looking to do some angel work. So I hope that this video helps somebody. I don't know, trying different formats and stuff like that. Trying to implement different things into these videos. So let me know if you enjoyed it. Actually, before we leave, I have something that I want to share with you guys. So I started a new business endeavor where I'm talking about all of this stuff, right? Having to do with, you know, getting your shit into order and blah, blah, blah. So you guys are officially the first ones. Let me look at my camera. Officially the first ones to know about this. So I would love your support if you are interested in what I'm about to show you, okay? So for those of you who don't know, I have a website, nellnicole.com. And on there, there's this tab that says Shop High Vibe. High Vibe is a company of mine. It is technically like my merchandising company. So anything that you want to purchase from Nell Nicole can be purchased on High Vibe. I currently have personal readings up there. So you can get an astrology reading or a tarot reading. I have different varieties and everything listed. You can go look at that now, nellnicole.com. And I have something coming out really, really soon, and I want to give you guys a sneak peek. So I'm doing a jewelry line. I've had this idea for so long, and I'm kind of apprehensive about even talking about it, but we're here and I want y'all to know. So I'm going to show you guys the crystals that I have because they're so beautiful. I'm getting ready to actually charge them up in this new moon energy, so that should be dope. And wire wrap them. So before I get a chance to even do any of that, I just wanted to show you guys these raw crystals. Can you see? I have crystal or clear quartz, which correlates to the crown chakra. I have, let me see, where is it? Amethyst, which correlates to the third eye. And these are so purple. Like, I'm not even sure if this is showing up correctly. I've got aquamarine for the throat chakra. These are beautiful. Yeah, this light is so yellow. It's kind of like distorting everything. Aquamarine for the throat chakra. These beautiful, oh my God, these are, I have to say, these are like my favorite because they're not tumblestone. These are just crystal points actually. And this is rose quartz. Beautiful. I cannot wait to wrap this one. Rose quartz for the heart chakra. I've got citrine for the solar plexus. And this could be used for the sacral chakra as well. And I love these because these are the points too. And these have like the gradient effect, which are going to be beautiful once I wrap them. I have moonstone for the sacral chakra. And these are so earthy and just pretty. I love these. I'll probably do some really pretty spiral wraps on these. And then I have smoky quartz for the root chakra. So this is the difference between the smoky and the clear. And then I also had a little addition in there because I want this whole thing to be like a tribute to my daughter. You know, I just feel like her name is Jada, and I wanted to name her Jade after the jade stone. So I got some Canadian jade, and it's beautiful. It's so green. And so, yeah, I bought this in, like, honor of her. Basically, this is also a lucky stone. So each of them, like I said, correlates to a chakra. This one can correlate to the heart chakra, but this is going to be the additional piece that I'm going to put in there just as another option. And like I said, a way to honor my daughter. So they'll all be wire wrapped. I have different materials that I'm going to wrap them with, but I'll be showing you guys that as soon as I get it done. These are going to be my testers, my first ones that I'm going to try my new wire with. So be looking out for those. I'm looking to have these posted in June of this year. So if you want a necklace, all my price points and stuff like that are listed. I'll have, you know, write-outs of what the different crystal qualities are for these babies. They're so, like, this collection is seriously so pretty. Like, it's so stinking pretty. All the different colors, like, you could definitely get all of these, and I want them to be affordable, so I am gonna price them at what they're valued at, but I'm not gonna like overprice them. So I feel like I want to get them out to as many of you guys as possible. And like I keep saying, as always, if you want a personal reading with me, all you have to do is go book one on nailnicole.com, go to Shop High Vibe, click the reading that you want, and we can move on from there. If you want something that isn't listed, go down to the bottom, leave me a little note, and we can talk about it. So happy Pisces New Moon. This energy is going to be good for today, tomorrow, and the next day. So the 17th, 18th, and 19th, I would say write out those intentions and put it in like a box like this. Put it in a little box, put the top on it, and just look at it whenever you feel the need to. But you can put all of your new moon intentions in there over the years and then go back and review them, you know, as time unfolds to see what manifested for you. So happy new moon again, and like this video. Make sure to subscribe and leave me some comments down below to let me know how this season goes for y'all. See you next time.